What's the most humiliating reason you've ever heard for a teenager to be expelled from school for? My friend was suspended because he was being pantsed continuously one day. After the 4th or 5th time everyone realized he was just pulling his own shorts down quickly in hall between classes. Friend of mine was nearly expelled for actually being pantsed. Some kid kept doing it to her, and they tried to expel her for public indecency. Her parents brought a lawyer in and the school immediately backed off. Far as I know, the other kid never got in trouble. He got suspended for a week because he made a poll of the worst person ever existed. You could answer Adolf Hitler, Osama bin Laden or the principal. When I was in junior high, we had a large Hurricane Gloria, which hit our town, and due to electricity being out, trees on the roads, flooding, etc., we were off school for 2 weeks. My vacation was 2 weeks plus a day, since I was sent home, not expelled, for wearing a homemade shirt that said I was blown by Gloria on my first day back. You're a freaking champ. A kid in my school got suspended for not only masturbating in the hot geometry teacher's class, but not stopping when she caught him. This kid in 8th grade, I was a freshman in high school but we all knew him from middle school, was on one of those free webcam sites chatting with girls and was fapping in class. The teacher was newish, probably her 2nd year, and she was probably 25 years old, and when she saw his computer screen she apparently broke down in tears. Kid got expelled quick. I like all the theories but I really can't answer. I have no clue why she cried. She apparently broke down in tears. I know it's an uncomfortable situation but that is a huge overreaction. A girl that was in 9th when I was in grade 10 was expelled for giving head to 3 guys at the same time in a dark auditorium during first block, and on more than one occasion. In 8th grade an older cousin taught me how to play craps. Like an idiot I started running a casino-like thing at lunch. Anyways, I got caught with a massive bag of money and was suspended. My school had a policy that if you were suspended and got in trouble again you would be expelled. About a month later I jumped in and puddled and was sent to the principal. They wanted to expel me, but my parents argued it would ruin my future as I had a perfect academic record. Ended up narrowly escaping expulsion for jumping in a puddle. My brother's friend prank called their teacher while my bro was at his house. The kid ended up getting found out. My brother went in and told them he was there. They would never have known either without him admitting it. As a reward for his honesty he was suspended for 6 days and had to clean the school. A guy at my school got expelled and arrested for photocopying dollar bills onto regular paper and trying to use them in the cafeteria. They also found a garbage bag full of them in a dumpster by his house. Last year, there was a whole operation dedicated to stealing money from the cafeteria. They would print fake tens and buy a $1 item with the fake, receiving $9 real dollars back. Of course, they varied the bills they used but eventually got caught. They made something like $900 in a week. When I was 17 I had to write a paper about what I would do if it was my last 24 hours on earth. Being a jackal's eye out things like blow stuff up and rob liquor stores. Well, my teacher thought I was serious and turned the paper into the principal who turned it into the police. I got charged with a felony for threats of terrorism and expelled for 6 months. Not really embarrassing, I guess, but funny, nevertheless. Not expelled but suspended for 2 weeks. The person was accused of bringing fireworks and bangers into school. It was party poppers for celebrating their friend's birthday. People seem confused by banger. It's what we call them in Ireland. I guess the American equivalent would be firecrackers. You light them and they make a loud bang. Hence the name. 2 8th graders from some school in a pretty upper class area were caught fricking in the elevator. On camera. In the elevator. At school. Okay then. Well, I guess the purpose of elevators is for people to get down quick. A line outside of the men's bathroom for free blowjobs. There must have been 15-20 people in line once they found out it was going down. She was new to the school and I guess wanted to service the boys. She was expelled right away. Her nickname, Roboho. I almost got suspended for using Brokeback Mountain in a list of love stories in middle school. The teacher called my parents and asked if they were letting me be exposed to that sort of stuff. My parents just laughed. I'm in high school currently. And last year a friend was expelled for writing a death threat to a teacher and also made a hit list. Nobody would have known it was him except he dropped it in the hall and a teacher picked it up and read it. I'm glad he got caught. Also, a couple got caught fricking in the bathroom when a teacher walked in. Why did a teacher walk in? They were using a teachers only bathroom. After getting suspended, the guy threatened to shoot up the school. Yeah, he is gone now. This kid was suspended at my school for throwing biscuits at the goths. It was funny, because he thought he was being cool by teasing them, but the goths were catching and eating the biscuits. Hilarious. The mental image I have is similar to a senior citizen feeding pigeons at a park. I had a friend in high school who got expelled, later reinstated, because a girl said that he threatened her and then later changed her story to she felt threatened by him. This girl would sit behind him in class and accuse his father of cheating on his mom and being a terrible person for basically no reason. She had this little loser minion who followed her around and basically did whatever she said. Pretty sure the guy was in love with her. So anyway, after like 2 years of this crap he tells her to shut the frick up. Then he gets expelled. It was one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Good old school system. Punishing the victim and all that. My niece just got expelled from school for convincing another child to take off his pants. But she is 3 years old, so I don't understand why it is such a big deal. I was expelled from school because I got on MySpace and told an internet friend that I wanted to put my bully in the hospital. You know, beat the crap out of him. Well, her mother sees that threat 2 weeks later and notifies my school, and I was kicked out for threats of terrorism and was told to never come back to that school. Honestly, I never touched the guy and didn't plan to. I was just venting out my anger because the school never did a dang thing when I told them I was being bullied. I don't talk out loud about my emotions anymore because that little vent fricked up my life. I was 14. I had no other school to go to, so I waited until I was of age and got my GED. Life has been a struggle because of that, but I learned my lesson at least. So yeah, when I meet people and the subject of school or anything related to that subject comes up, I have to explain that I was kicked out of school because of what I said on MySpace. The humiliation kills me every time. US schools have no idea what the word terrorism means. There are hundreds of definitions, but the main commonality is that it is for a political purpose. That guy bullied me, I'm going to beat him up is most definitely not terrorism. One kid got expelled for pulling the red fire alarm, which, in turn, caused an evacuation while waiting for the fire department to arrive. He claimed later to have done it out of sheer boredom, which later became his motto in the yearbook. A guy in our school is about 6'6". One time he tripped over the rim of a door, hits the fire alarm and causes the whole school to evacuate. Didn't get expelled or anything. He never forgot about it though. We didn't let him XD. I volunteer myself. I was expelled for planning to hack the teacher's server when all the evidence they had on me was that I had Tor and a few VPNs installed on my MVP. I was in a Mac 1-to-1 school. I was a very bored 11th grader with ADHD, but got along well with all my teachers and classmates, except for the principal and his wife, also a teacher, who didn't like me much after my dad complained of their negligence after I had a panic attack out at sea alone during a windsurfing excursion. I was basically a chronic liar who was making it up in their eyes. I had been on probation a few times for other minor things, but they obviously had a grudge against me. The principal then transferred to another school shortly after I got expelled. But karma exists in real life and not just on Reddit. So out in town one day I happened to walk past my ex-principal who was holding hands with another woman. I snapped a photo and posting it on Facebook. I didn't actually think too much of it because it was already talk among some of the students, but it went viral across both the schools among the teachers and students, and I'm told they both split up because of it. Apparently they are much happier now, so good for them. The guy's name was John. We were in the middle of history class and the teacher says, "John, go to the office and turn in your cell phone." You know the rules. John stands up, rips off his shirt, and flips over every desk in the classroom while cursing at the teacher. As he's walking out he pushes the teacher into the wall. Here's the twist. The teacher wasn't even talking to him. She was talking to another student named John who was using his phone to show someone a picture. My old teacher used to work in a rough area in London about 10 years ago. She told us how one 14-year-old had a wankin' lesson and was caught by the teacher after he came in his hand. I'm not sure how it happened, but the kid ended up storming out and wiped his jizz all over the handle when leaving. In order to get the other kids out, the teacher had to use a piece of paper over her hand to touch the handle. This is rather far-fetched, I know. I was probably in around 3rd or 4th year of seniors, 13-15ish, and there was a dude in my year who I'll refer to as CH. As the story goes, CH acquired a piece of white dog crap. Bear with me here. He took it home and painstakingly dried it and ground it down, only to bring it into school the next day, badly wrapped in cling film to offer to his feebly-minded minions as what I can only assume was C. They declined. For whatever fricking reason, CH was like, nah lads, this is good crap, look, and did a big fat line of old, white, ground dog crap in the boys' toilets. Anyway, he got grassed up as he spent the next hour in the cubicle violently vomiting, haha. It all came to a head and he got excluded for what I can only imagine to be a various number of reasons. Oh, I almost forgot. This guy once smeared "help me" on the cubicle doors in his own crap. Psy Catholic school. Student wasn't expelled. They made him switch schools because he is a high achiever. He said he was tired of all of the born-agains teasing him for being an atheist. He also dressed pretty provocatively, in their eyes. So he crucified a baby pig and put it in their prayer spot on campus. All expulsions in CA. By law you switch schools within the district. He was achieving, so they didn't send him to the expulsion school that lets out at noon. When I was 15, I was a high school stoner. One day it was -23 without a wind chill, and me and this other guy decided to smoke our water bottle bong in the bathroom to keep from having to go way out back. We go into the sketchiest bathroom in the furthest corner of the school and into the handicap stall. We had all the smoking stuff out. I had the water bottle, he had the stem and bowl. We each had our own weed. As we start putting it together, the principal knocks on the stall door and says, "Come out boys, I know you're in there." So I crush the water bottle and he hides his paraphernalia. I put my weed in between my dong and my sack and he put his up his sleeve. In the office we were put in separate rooms. He was interrogated first. While that was happening, I hid my weed in the bottom of a filing cabinet. During his talk with the authorities, his weed was found. They brought the school's cop in and searched my pockets but found nothing. Catholic school 2003. I was suspended for being in a bathroom stall with another boy. He was expelled for the same offense, but because it was a recurring thing for him, they also sent him to rehab for weed. Reefer madness. Guy at my high school went into the girls' bathroom, came out with a used tampon and started smoking it like it was a cigarette. Most awkward lunch period ever. Lunch period. Guy at my school got expelled for using an empty Pringles can to masturbate. He cut a hole in the top and just, fricked it. Ouch. We were on the bus on the way back from a school trip and me and my friends were sat at the back. We spent most of the journey just messing around, playing cards, etc. When we noticed that the teacher sat nearest to us had headphones in. Being dumb kids, we decided to see if we could start shouting dumb stuff without him hearing us. We tried yelling a few things before one of my friends yelled, "Would you like to suck my dong, Mr. L?" At which point Mr. L turned around, because he had turned his music off, and made my friend go and sit somewhere else. He got a 2-day suspension for that. Some people I know got suspended for trying to use fake money at a nearby newsagent. Another time, the same people got punished for straight up shoplifting. Same newsagent. In fairness, they are idiots. I went to a private school. Me and a girl there fell in love and started dating. We both did cross country together after school. One night after practice, we didn't want to go home, so we stayed in her car. She was senior, I was still a sophomore. The whole night and lost our virginity together. Well, we were literally up all night long enough for school to start the next morning. We were still in the car. Couldn't see through the windows, it was so steamy in there. Titanic style, I guess. We were pretty out of it, so we didn't go to school. Meanwhile, our parents are freaking out and I guess word gets to the school that we're not there. So I guess the logical conclusion was to expel us both. I was suspended for using a teacher's computer. You see, IT. had developed this clever system where every computer in the entire school was perfectly identical in both hardware and software before a user logs in. Once a user logged in, it loaded their desktop, files and permissions from a central server. So did I log into my teacher's account? Nope. I logged into my own account and did my homework. But since I did it at the workstation at the front of the room, instead of the rows of workstations at the desks, I was suspended for hacking. Hacking my butt. I'd say that this is very widely used. Microsoft call it roaming profiles. I find it hilarious you were suspended for doing something exactly as intended. It is possible to set restrictions on who can log on to what, though. Story is about me, and I wasn't a teenager. Oh well. When I was in first grade, I went to a private school. For my birthday, my mom got me a book about dragons. Dragons are freaking awesome. Brings dragon book to school. Teacher finds it, gets brought to principal, yells at me about revelations, Satan, and dragons. Gets expelled for like a week. Dragon book is taken. I was taught by the deputy head at a pretty decent secondary school in the UK. He only expelled one person. A girl was caught taking a £5 note from a teacher's handbag. The deputy head sat down in his office with the girl and her father. The head said to the father, "Your daughter has been caught stealing money from a teacher. We need to work together to find out why this happened and how to prevent it." The father responded with, "So, I do stuff like that all the time." The head realized there was nothing he could do to help her and he expelled her on the spot. Suspended for a while but not expelled. In 8th grade, one kid went into the bathroom, kicked open the stall, and pee all over another kid. I think they were kinda friends and it was just a prank. It's just a prank, bro. Some kids in my HS got suspended because they swore on Facebook. Basically the guys had a group on Facebook to discuss which girls they were asking to prom. Something like that anyway. It was the year below me so I wasn't in it. Then some guys started talking crap about some girls. Once again, general idea. Not sure exactly. And some other guys told them to frick off essentially. They proceeded to get suspended for swearing on the internet outside of school. A kid in my class was going to a freshman dance with his girlfriend who just started chemotherapy. He shaved his hair off so she wouldn't be the only one there with no hair. He was suspended for 3 weeks for violating dress code and having hair under 3/4 of an inch even though all the black kids have theirs under that. TL. D.A.R.E. Private schools have stupid rules. When I was in 3rd grade, one of my classmates found a bag of marijuana on the playground during recess. We were at the time taking D.A.R.E. courses and trying to do the right thing. He took the baggie to the teacher to report it. The teacher decided to, instead of recognizing the child performed as he was taught to do and congratulate him, to report that the child had a bag of drugs in his possession. The kid was expelled for the rest of the year and the following year ended up becoming a dealer. TL. D.A.R.E. Teacher creates dealer by teaching student no good deed goes unpunished. When I was a sophomore in high school, I got expelled for flipping off my entire English class. The substitute teacher told the principal I flipped off the class and walked out when in reality I just threw my friend on the other side of the room a peace sign and went to the bathroom. Not expulsion, but a visit to the principal's office. I got in trouble for spinning on an office chair before school since there was nothing to do. I got to have a chat with my B of a principal and they called my mom, who, though it was a stupid thing to punish a student for, the next few months the entire staff monitored me. I saw the second most white trash girl fight the leader of the white trash girls because WTG1 had gotten pregnant. Went for the belly punch and crap. It was an embarrassing day all around. In 8th grade, my friend and I were getting ready for this 3K run my school has, and this 6th grader comes up and starts to talk some crap. My friend laughs it off and gives him a little wrist flick in the kid's stomach. Very lightly. Like a week later, the kid starts complaining to his mom that his stomach hurts as an excuse to get out of this wedding. He tells his mom that my friend hit him in the stomach yesterday and he hasn't been feeling well since. Well, the mom flips crap and my friend gets suspended for the week. I went to a school that had a future and current NBA star on our high school baseball team. Best team we ever had up to that point. destroyed every team except one, were playing tough with them, up by 5 points with 2 minutes left. All of a sudden a fan from our school threw an object onto the court. We get a technical. Coach argues it and he gets a technical. Other team gets 4 shots and end up scoring a last second shot to win. Everyone knew the kid that did it. Next day at school was insane. Every single person was talking about this kid. Principal called him in and told him to leave for his own safety. He stays and gets him and another kid who was defending him beat up badly. Then he gets told he can't come back to our school for a year until the seniors from the basketball team graduate. Pretty humiliating. Man, me and this kid I was friends with went dove hunting before school and skipped first period. We decided to leave the guns in my truck and I parked at another friend's house in the neighborhood by the school. We walked to school, a little blood on our hands, nothing major. Still an hour came out, but it was Oklahoma so who cares? Principal calls the both of us in, asks why we're late to school and in came out. We told him we went hunting before school and blah blah blah. Well, they end up looking for my truck, which they couldn't find, but found my buddy's truck. He had a single spent shotgun shell in the bed, and he was expelled for bringing a weapon to school. It was horrible. I felt so bad for him. None of these happened to me and some are only suspensions, but they all happened at my Catholic high school. Suspended for giving a wet willy to a student while on TV for being a Jesuit school after the new pope was announced. Yes, the school from that video. Suspended for leading and encouraging others to join in a prayer to Satan before a particularly hard math test. Expelled for punching an 8th grader touring the school causing him to rescind his application. Suspended for dressing up as an army soldier for Halloween and being late to all his classes because he hopped between every class. Detention for dressing up as a brick wall for Halloween and stopping in a hallway, blocking traffic. Detention for taping an underclassman to a wall. Suspension for setting a firework off in the hallway. Expelled for pooping in various locations that were not the toilet, urinal, bathroom floor, gym floor, hallway. Suspended for making and eating pancakes in the back of an English class, then tweeting it. Some were suspended, some were expelled for egging an undercover cop car, recording it, and posting it on YouTube. Suspended for tweeting a video of himself receiving a BJ. Expelled for bringing a gun to school. Detention for telling a student to suck his dong in a parking lot. Suspended for taking off his shirt and waving it around during mass. Another kid at school punched me in the eye once. I got suspended because the other kid said I cocked my hand back like I was going to hit him. Another time he threw a rock at my head because I caught a tennis ball. He cut a vein in my head and I lost a lot of blood. He also was not suspended that time. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.